Well, hello. I'm Chris Brogan. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Get on the Path webinar. I am so grateful that you are part of this. First off, I just want to tell you a couple things. One of the most important things I want to tell you is just to realize that there's a whole Q&A section. But if you don't get your question answered, because there's going to be a lot of questions asked throughout the whole thing, make sure to just drop me an email, chris@ownermag.com. You asked a question about hashtags. Look at this technology. Own path. That's the hashtag. Now, I'm not going to be able to read that, super fast, real time. So sometimes something's going to slip by me there, but feel free to tweet amongst yourselves. It's also a good way to know who's around, who has been part of this webinar. So that's useful. The three big things we're going to talk about today are mindset, fuel, and path. That just gives you a little bit of a starting point. I also want to just point out that, when times are tough for me, things are... there's a great opportunity to focus. When everything gets down, there's a real great chance that I'm going to have to work through whatever it is that's going on and come out the other end of it. And I wanted to explain to you that, times are sometimes tough even now. Donald Trump went bankrupt a bunch of times. He's a billionaire a bunch of times over. He went bankrupt a bunch of times. If you're doing it right, especially the entrepreneurial stuff, it is going to be like that. It is not fun. It is not a great thing. Families don't love it when you suddenly have no money and then do and then don't. It's, there's some real risks to it. But I do have to tell you that that's part of the game. So first off, if you're feeling like maybe you're the only person who's been in that situation, that's not true. I used to fly to conferences when I didn't have enough money to really be there. I would have just barely afforded the plane ticket. Maybe I had gotten some kind of early bird special to get to the event. And I knew that I had to be at the event to get there and do what needed doing. And I'd go to the city and I would do the ATM game. Have you ever played the ATM game? You put the card in and you're like, I sure hope there's money in there. And, sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. You start like $100 and you're like, oh, nope, not enough balance. Okay, great. How about 40? No. 20? No. And next thing you know, you're out of loot. And I've had that happen. And I've had to, show up at conferences thinking, boy, I really hope there's food served at the breaks or something like that, or I might be eating toothpaste for the whole show. And from that, I've gone from that to, 5-star restaurants. And I've gone back and forth a bunch of times, and it's definitely a whole part of the process. Let me just get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. Yes, this will be recorded. Yes, I will send you the recording no matter what afterwards. Yes, I definitely have a few things that I do intend to sell to you, but the value in this webinar is going to happen whether or not you're part of this story. The hashtag here is OwnPath, by the way, OWNPATH, and that's how that goes. Yes, people who stay at the end will definitely get some better deals than people who leave early. And I want tons and tons of questions. Feel free to ask away. But again, if I can't get to all your questions, send email to chris@ownermag.com. I can definitely answer them after the fact. And like I said, use the own path time here, and I can do whatever I can to help you be in better circumstances after the case. So let's set the stage here. This is not a tale of woe. This is not meant to make you feel bad. Hi, Paul. Sorry about that. Some people are saying that my audio and video aren't lined up. I don't know how to help you. We'll call it good. What it is, though, is this is definitely a talk about reality. This is definitely what you're doing right now isn't working, and that's why a lot of you are here. Some of you are here just for a little bit of inspiration, and I appreciate that, but a lot of you are here because you're sort of at the edges of what's going on here, and right now it's not working, and you need it to work, and that's why we're together, right? So let's be honest about that. This is one weird thing I see all over the internet and with people is that there's a whole lot of people who don't want to own where they are. And people really don't like to see your messy before picture, but they love to see the triumph in the after picture. They love to see your triumphant comeback. But you sometimes have to share that before picture. You have to be vulnerable sometimes. Otherwise, there's going to be a challenge to that. So what's wrong? What's going on? First off, a lot of times people are getting into the hole. I can tell you a lot of times it's usually because your business plan is not much of a business plan. And you don't have to have some really formal thing with 8 pages or whatever. One of my favorite quotes that Mike Tyson ever said, believe it or not, is everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And I think that that's a good way to look at it. Your plan doesn't always survive the first impact with the enemy. I've heard about that. So there's a interesting experience that goes off with that, which is just that you can you can always figure out what the baseline of your plan is by understanding if it is a business, how do you intend to make money and who are you serving in the process? That's where a lot of times people get stuff wrong. They're like, I don't know, I made a blog, I'm not making any money. I've got a podcast, I've been on the New and Notable 3 times, I'm not making any money. I opened up a shop in the mall, I'm not making any money. There's just no alignment. Maybe like this audio and video. There's no alignment sometimes where, you are creating media and thinking that's a business. Let me just really clear that up really quickly. A media business means that you are selling advertisement, or you are selling sponsorships, or you're using that media to lean people towards some product or service. And if you don't have some product or service, we're going to talk about sales a little bit later, but you have one of the most common mistaken problems going on with the situation, which is that, it's like you've gone to the fishing hole and you've got a beautiful fishing pole and you've got the line and you got the hook and you got a bucket of worms and you stick one worm on and you throw that in the water. And then the next thing you do is you throw the whole bucket in the water and you say, wow, that's so weird. Those fish are eating the heck out of those worms. Where's mine? And you're not going home with a fish because you're just putting out product and you don't really have anything attached to it. One of the other things to do to start finding and stopping the bleeding is you got to look at your spending. You've got to look at where this stuff is coming. You got to look at where you're deciding your money is worth it. I'm amazed how many of my friends who have really troubled businesses fly off to really bizarre conferences. Bizarre means there's no possible chance of getting business there, and you're going there maybe with just the hope of inspiration. Inspiration is a great thing to go after, but if you're in the I'm gonna die spot in your business, don't fly to someplace like a South by Southwest and go, I can't wait to get to the Mashable party. That'll fix everything. It doesn't work that way. You've really just got to start looking for your customers. And like I said, we're going to talk sales a lot of times. There's a lot of conversation about sales. If you are wincing every time I say sales, that's part of the problem. We'll get there. I can tell you some of what's broken. I can tell you some of the fixes. I mean, I just talked a little bit about the media business. I can also tell you that when you are desperate and you're trying to sell is when it looks like you're desperate and you're trying to sell. It's like the desperate person at the bar who asks 5 girls out in a row and runs into the problem of, hey, it turns out that's maybe not a good model for you. So one of the things to do is that when you get into these modes, something else happens too. If you start hearing no a bit, no turns on your ability to procrastinate. The minute you start trying to sell to people and they tell you you're bad or wrong or something, you may or may not be, or you may or may not be committed to the sale, or you may or may not be skilled enough and educated in how you're going to make your business transpire. But the minute you start hearing no, you start procrastinating. You start getting lazy. You start finding reasons why not to go after that sale. The minute you do that, that's where all of a sudden there's a deficit. That's where things start getting on bad. Or the other thing you do is you get some early success and then you ride that success and you settle and you get into a sense of comfort. Your body and life in general hates comfort. It seeks it, but it doesn't really want it. Entropy sets in almost right away. If you sit on the couch all the time, you spread out. Quite literally, genetically, you get bigger. When you do with your business and you get too comfortable, suddenly you're not out there looking for prospecting. You're not trying to find business. You're not trying to grow it in any way. If you get really comfortable with the product or service that you offer, you don't do anything to make it any better. Steve Jobs was in the business of putting himself out of business. Once he got the iPod just rocking, he decided, let's make the iPhone because that'll rock. Let's make the iPad. It'll kill the laptops. Perfect. Let's kill the laptops. Tablets are outselling laptops. It looks kind of like that on a graph right now. It's crazy. But we have to worry about, things like comfort. We are systematically brainwashed all around, everywhere, to settle, to be okay with what's going on, to just think that what's in front of us is what we should have, that a 3% raise at your day job is a great idea. 3%. Whoop-de-frickin-do. That's all you can hope to acquire if you do 100% right, if you do more work because they let more people go, if you show up all the time, if you're there for attendance or whatever. You can beg and hope for a 3% raise. Not good money for me. There's a quote that I'm somehow really associated with all over the internet. It is probably one of those quotes that people remember about me after I die, even though I just kind of said it one day, but it relates to here, so I'm going to tell it to you. Don't settle. Don't finish crappy books. If you don't like the menu, leave the restaurant. If you're not on the right path, get off it. Jacqueline and I started living that way 3 or 4 years ago, and I would say that it's one of the strongest changes we had in our life and starting to figure out that kind of mindset. Related to that, I've got a 3-piece way for you to sort of seek out your solutions and to help you get where you need to go. Like I said, we're going to talk about mindset, fuel, and path. If you're taking notes, and I really hope you are, I've got 6 things that I want you to pay attention to. The very first one of them is commitment. Commitment means exactly that. I am committed to doing this. Now, sometimes we don't get all the way with our commitment. Sometimes it stops being the right commitment. I'm not saying follow something to its jagged end until it doesn't make sense anymore. But for as long as something does make sense, and as long as something is what you're supposed to be doing, or what you believe you want to do and that your heart is in all the way, stay committed. If you're not committed, if you're still kind of wishy-washy, if you're saying, well, it's good enough, it's not really going to work for you very well. I always I'll try to find the quote. It's basically something like, no one ever says they're heading to Vegas and stops 37 miles short of it and says that they're there. You know what I mean? It's if you have decided you're going to go out and run 5 miles, then run the 5 miles. Do the commitment that you said you're going to do. Same in business. If you're going to go after 500,000 in sales, 1 million in sales, 10 million in sales, your first 100,000, commit to that. Commit to that and start looking at what that looks like. Make it every single day. Think about it every day. Break it to a month, break it to a week, break it to a day. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but your day is your week, is your month, is your year. You're not going to get where you're going without staying committed. How do you stay committed? We'll talk a little bit about that. One of my ways of doing it is I write down, I've got 10 goals that I have for the next 12 months coming. And I have those 10 goals. I rewrite them in hand, written on my notebook, paper notebook, every single day. The practice of doing that reminds me to pay attention to them. James Altucher has this idea, write down ideas every single day, even if they're for other people. Just write down ideas and throw them at that. That helps me with my commitment because I stay steeped in that commitment. And that's part of what we're going to look to be doing, is being committed. Thank you so much. Next is discipline. Discipline is, I've written about this twice. In The Freak Shall Inherit the Earth. Any proud freaks out there? Hashtag proud freak. In Freaks Shall Inherit the Earth, I wrote about discipline. In my book about fitness and health that I wrote with Jacqueline, Just Start Here, I wrote about it. People are looking for willpower all the time. Willpower is stupid. Willpower is basically all about, I am halfway to doing the thing I said I wasn't going to do. I'm definitely the kind of person who, I would love to eat that Reese's peanut butter cup, but I won't because I'm righteous. That's the deal. Discipline is honoring the commitments that you've made. Discipline is honoring yourself because you said you're worth it. If you tell me, and there's a bunch of people on this call that are involved right now in my fitness challenge, if you tell me you're committed to that, but you think you're going to also have this piece of cake and that's not part of your plan, then you're dishonoring your own commitment. You're cheating on yourself. It's as clear as that. And it means you don't value yourself as much as you should. Where in your life aren't you honoring the commitments you've made to yourself? Like, we don't even have to talk about other people yet. Where in your life aren't you honoring the commitments you've made to yourself? If you wrote yourself that note, I bet it would be worth a good half hour of your time. Hey, I had a question fly by from a really wonderful person with an incredible new book out. The Mindful Marketer. What makes somebody a freak? I will tell you what makes somebody a freak. A freak is somebody who has a tattoo level obsession with serving a specific kind of people and doing it a specific kind of way and doing the thing they know how to best do with the people that most resonate with it. If I say roll a 20-sided die for nerdness, you are going to find yourself knowing that I know something about Dungeons and Dragons. If I'm talking about burpees, I might do something in CrossFit or in my case, Spartan Race. Freaks are the people that you really connect with. It's not the same as a niche. Niches are these things that people seem to fit into and find and look for as ways that they can sell to people. Freaks are the people who go out and look for where they fit in most. And you kind of already know where that is. You don't need me to tell you that. You're just too afraid to go after it. So we got a commitment, we did discipline. Observation. This is part of the owner's mindset that a lot of people miss. You have to observe. You have to look out at the world. You have to pay attention to things. You have to look for the business model in things. You have to understand where it's going. I was talking to somebody today. He was telling me about his plan. He was telling me about his business idea. I said, oh, kind of like Vivo. And he immediately said, yeah, you're right. And he knew that I knew right away what business model he had taken to do his next big plan. And he was first off impressed that I knew. But second, it showed that my level of observation and his level of observation were working the same way. When you can start dissecting the games that other people play and what those games mean to you and how that business is made and all that, really good stuff happens. So It's a really important way to look at stuff is observation. It's part of a really famous thing called the OODA loop, OODA, observe, orient, decide, and act. Observation is an incredible part of a really successful strategy. I use observation every day. What's every blog post I've ever written? It's me kind of taking something and turning it and taking a better look at it. That's how you start understanding what's wrong in your business. That's how you understand what your customers need. And every time you look at your business, it is a failing in you to best serve your customers in a way that it looks like a good thing. All right, let's talk about systems for a minute. If you do not have systems in your life, you are doomed. My little right brain friends, my freaks, I have tried decades to live without systems. I will tell you that every time things go better for me is when I get right back into systems. Systems, systems, systems. They're simple things. You make them yourself. Make the system, test the system, trust the system. We will do it in all kinds of ways. Amanda asked a question about the OODA loop. It is observe, orient, decide, act. And remember, you can go back and watch the video afterwards, so don't you worry. With systems, I have found, let me give you a really basic one. I'm just going to rip this off my desk. I promote a product called the Visalis Challenge. It is a health challenge. You lose 10 pounds, kids get fed really awesome stuff. Part of it is this thing called the Rockstar Challenger. Look how beat up mine is. What I do is I contact people and I ask them questions, and it's paper. And it sits on the corner of my desk. And that word sold means I got somebody who wanted to be part of the challenge. Thank you so much. I have 150 plus people that I reached out to, and I follow up with them until they either say to me no, or they say to me it's not going to work that way or whatever. What's going on with that system is that piece of paper, not a file, not some awesome app, not some CRM. That piece of paper sitting on the corner of my desk reminds me, make some calls, touch some people, do some business. That system is making me much more successful in what I'm choosing to do. Sharon says, quite humorously, but also true, I'm creative. What's a system? The difference between people who are creative and people who are creative and have a system are lives in mom's basement, doesn't live in mom's basement. The difference is that when you have a system, it is a way to be helpful. I talked to Paul Budnitz. Paul Budnitz is the guy who created Kid Robot. Any Kid Robot fans here? Holy cow, cool vinyl art. He did the really coolest thing. Before that, Paul was making custom airbrush sneakers and selling them to Japanese people for 16 grand a pair of sneakers. He'd buy the sneakers at 180 bucks, paint them, 16,000 bucks later. That was Paul. I also talked to Mark Echo for the book Freaks, and Mark did the same sort of stuff. He'd airbrush t-shirts, he'd airbrush girls' fingernails and stuff like that. But those guys have systems. They know how to build stuff that then grows into something because they look for a way to replicate it. Mark Echo cut and sew. Mark has taken his business hundreds of millions of dollars. Ridiculously creative guy. He's got an amazingly good book on branding and stuff like that called Unlabeled. If you don't read, by the way, get off this call. If you don't read, you're not going to ever fix your business. It's not going to happen. You need to read. There's that really crappy, quaint old 30 or 40-year-old thing, readers are leaders. It's totally true. If you're not reading, I can tell you why your business is failing. We're going to talk a lot more about books. Mastery. Master something, master anything, and then move on to something else. You know what I have mastery in, this sort of Malcolm Gladwell mastery? Writing. I can write $4,000, I wish. I can write 4,000 words a day, no sweat, every day. How did I do it? I started at 300 words a day, about a page. How did I go after that? 500, then 1,000, then I got to 2,000. I am telling you right now, it is all in there. I can tell you that mastery is where it's at. Great book on mastery right now by, what's his face, Robert, you know, the guy, 48 Laws of Success guy. Read that book, but he has it in a different way. All I'm saying is master the game. If you want to own the game, Robert Greene, thank you, Mark. If you want to own the game, if you want to master things, the game you most want to win, work at it, master it. I mastered Halo 4. I wanted to be really good at Halo 4, and I especially want to be really good at being a sniper. Doesn't pay much, but it sure is fun. Integrity. Integrity is one of those words that people kind of tie to righteousness. Integrity just means the integratedness of what you're doing. If this doesn't work, if you are not tying your stuff together that it makes sense, if you're just chasing after every little thing that's out there, I just felt like Kermit the Frog. That is not integrated. And when you are not integrated, you are doomed. You can sometimes master stuff with multiple balls in the air, which is a question that came through to Martin. It is harder. But I think that you have to remember that sometimes there's the little stuff you're doing that you got to get to the bigger stuff. We're going to go to the path a little bit later in great exhaustive detail. You are doomed how much detail. So I promise you that. Let me just look really quick at a couple of these questions. Love your work. Thank you. Paul Sokol is a wonderful guy. Integrity and integration are from the same phrases. So just connect that up. All right. The next thing you got to look at, no excuses. The minute you start living a no excuses lifestyle, everything changes. Everything changes. When you are working on a no excuses lifestyle, you don't allow excuses. Hey, did you get that paper done? Sure I did. I stayed up all night, but I did it. Hey, did you get to the gym? Well, I don't know. I had this connecting flight problem. I did such and such, whatever. I did it. No question. There's a question that was just thrown to me. How can I be a sniper to the excuses? When you believe and you are committed in your path, excuses vanish. Once you really believe in something, anything, if you believe you're a total absolute loser and failure, you will do everything in your power to keep reinforcing that. When you believe you're not worth it, when you believe what other people say about you, you will reinforce that endlessly. Look for no excuses towards your commitments. Look for ways to stick to the commitments that would make you the best person you could possibly ever be. Look for the ways that you can stick to what you say matters the absolute most to you. I am so not going to answer that question, Maury, but drop me an email. Can I talk about what to focus on? I will. It's coming up. Sometimes I feel no excuses put so much pressure on me. There's only pressure when you fill up your day. I will tell you one trick that I talk about in the Freaks Shall Inherit the Earth. Schedule your day to 40%. Believe me with all my heart. You, if are scheduling your day to 100%, are doing it wrong. Your car running at 100% blows up in 3 to 5 minutes. Your computer at 100% stops working. Why are you scheduling your schedule to 100%? Why? Because you're not making enough money? That's like saying my really dull axe doesn't work, so I'm going to hit the tree harder until it falls down. Mastery is definitely something that you have to learn, and it's definitely a work in progress. And Carrie mentions mastery also deals with turning pro. I don't care what your project manager believes. Believe me with all my heart. My friend Nathaniel, I could see your beauty, Nathaniel. He says that changing his lifestyle to 40% changed everything. Let me tell you another thing that ties to the mindset of no excuses. You know those Venn diagrams where there's stuff in one circle and then it overlays into the other circle, and then you've got to see what that connection is and figure out where that connection is? Let me tell you this. This is the Venn diagram for awesome. Comfort does not match awesome. You must get out of your comfort zone to achieve awesome. Are you with me, people of the earth? You must get out of your comfort zone to achieve awesome. You are doomed without it. All right, I'm getting ready to talk about sales. Let me just dump right into the questions really quick and see what's going on. I don't care about your project manager. What do you do when you've already been 100% for years and you're already at burnout point but need to keep functioning? Drop things. Drop things. People are so insanely vain. Drop things. Justin Levy. Anybody a friend of Justin Levy on this call? Justin Levy suffered a horrendous bunch of seizures. Huge bad brain stuff. Snapped both his arms into little tiny bits. Justin is no longer functioning at 100% right now, and he is going to pick up his pieces. None of us are going to get out alive. We are all going to die. So then pre-plan your crash landing. Put your head between your knees. Get that oxygen mask over your head. Inflate those things when you leave the cockpit. I don't know. Plan to explode and then see what it looks like. If you've been running at 100% and you're burning out, guess why? It's because you're not effective. It's not because you're running at 100%. It's because you're running 100% at all the wrong things. Trust me with every little bit of who you are, I promise me. What's a 40% schedule look like versus 100%? If there are 16 hours in a day, whatever 40% of 16 is, that's what you do, because you sleep 8 to 10 hours. Any one of you guys who thinks sleep is this thing that you're not supposed to do, another one of your problems in your life. Sleep 8 to 10 hours a day. Sleep is awesome. You are not more amazing when you are not sleeping. Let's just see what I got here. Mario, the books I've been reading say you should avoid toxic, negative people. What do you suggest when you realize you're that person? Wow, I did not have that one coming, Mario. When you are the toxic, negative person, I think flush yourself. I think it's time for a flush. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself if that's working. We'll never make it. I don't think that's going to help anybody. All right. Thomas, you're welcome to go make that shirt. Any tips or advice on how to choose a path? Oh, don't get ahead of me. I'll get you. What do you do with the other 60%? You know what I do? I wait for stuff to break. If you go to 40%, life's going to be better. I promise you that with all my heart. 40% is one of the kids calls in sick. 40% is, oh crap, I missed that phone call. Let's get it later here. 40% is, I went to the gym with Jack and we had an incredible workout. My everything is sore. That's what 40% is. All right, hang on a minute. We are deeply involved in networking via chambers, etc. We don't sell to these circles. How can I close the room on friends and professional contacts? Wait, so you go to chamber events where you don't sell and you're deeply involved, but you don't sell there. What's the business value going there? Let's ask that. All right, I'm going to go to sales for a minute and then we're going to come back. Sales. Any day spent not selling is a day where you're letting your business fall to the ground. When you're not selling, it's because you're a scaredy cat. It's because you're afraid that you don't know how to sell. Maybe you're not very good at it. You know how I got better at selling? I sold a lot. You know how I got better at speaking? I spoke a lot. You know how I got better at writing? I wrote a lot. You know how I get better at the gym? I go a lot. Everything you do in life that you do more of, you're going to do better, right? Little babies don't know how to walk when they're born. They come flying out of mom, lay on that table. Wah, you wrap them up. They don't get up and walk. Horses can, because horses are better than us. But humans, it takes us a long time to figure out how to walk. But when I'm in New York, there's people walking everywhere. I see them all over the streets. You got to learn to walk. It's okay. Fall down a lot. That's what kids do. Kids don't fall down and go, oh, life's ruined. Get out of your own head. So you screwed up a sale. I screw up stuff all the time. I was a restaurant waiter. This woman said she wanted fettuccine Alfredo. She said, I don't want any Alfredo. I just want the fettuccine. I didn't even know what that was, so I didn't even put that order in. I brought it out exactly as it's planned. She says, there's still Alfredo like crazy in this dish. And I was like, no, there's not. And there went my waiter career. Believe me, you could fail. One of the things that people do a lot when they think they're selling is they make a lot of media. Man, I got a really busy podcast. I'm getting 40,000 downloads. I'm in the new and notable for some category that doesn't matter. Or I'm an Amazon #1 bestseller, my ebook for this category, like down here somewhere, like, ancient alien space pets. I am #1 in ancient alien space pets. God bless. Are you selling something or are you just putting out media? If you're putting out media, that's not making you any money unless it's guiding people to something. What's this $20 webinar doing? First off, you paid to show up because you believed in the value. Second, there sure as hell is going to be something for sale. And third, the goal is give so much value that when you're part of the plan, you feel like, man, I'm on the inside of all this value. People who didn't join this webinar like you, people who couldn't even gamble $20 are not on the inside of it, but you are. You got that hashtag own path. Go talk to people. See what's out there. Here's what I learned about sales. A system is better than doing nothing. If you do nothing, you're going to get nothing. Make a simple system. I have a thing right now, contact 5 people and sell 5 owners paths a week, period. Just sell 5 owners paths a week. That's the start of my system. What do? I start asking them how clear they are on their business. That's what I do. Then I start asking them, if I could improve your business 20%, is that interesting to you? I start looking for ways to sell better. And then I make my system, I test the system, and then when I get it vaguely working, I trust the system. That's what's missing in your sales. You don't have any system. You're just sitting there kind of going, ugh, I don't know. All right, I'm going to look at a couple questions, and I'm going to tell you another quick diversion. Let's see. This is awesome. Yes, it is, Lois. I am awesome. It's midnight in the UK. Going to go to that sleep. Go to sleep. This thing's being recorded. This thing is different time zones all over the place. Don't you worry about that. Having made the decision to commit to some big changes in life, all kinds of heck seems to break loose. Hey, guess what? When you make changes in life, things change. Things don't always line up. People aren't as happy anymore. You pick a new album, people hate it. You put the new formula of Coke, everyone hates it. You got a new look and feel. Look, I got long hair, I cut the hair. Oh, I love short hair. Oh, I hate short hair. That girl over there doesn't kiss me if I don't have long hair, so I'm keeping it long. People don't like change, but everything in life that's worth anything is painful. I have not had a baby near as I can tell. I've had poops that felt like a baby. Babies hurt. They're supposedly worth it. That's what they're telling me. That's I tell my kids, someone said you're worth it. Everything worth anything is painful. When you go to the gym, every part of my body is sore, but man, my back is starting to look really nice. My shoulders, I don't have Jack's shoulders yet, but I'm getting there. Any related reading to 40%? Yeah, it's a book called The Freak Shall Inherit the Earth. Elaborate a little more on the 40%. Dudes, go read The Freak Shall Inherit the Earth. I promise it's all in there. All right. Besides hiring VAs, what's a way to scale your operation? Besides hiring VAs, find things that you can automate. Find the parts of your system that you can automate to make the parts that are human better. Rob and I have this whole thing called To Automate is Human. We've stuck that inside of Love Letters, which is our thing about email marketing. But the more you can automate the easy stuff, then the more you can actually talk to and connect with humans. I think people get it wrong all the time. They turn their social media into an answering machine. That's where you most want to do it. What are the other ways? You find ways to expand. I'll give you some ideas on that in just a second. You find other ways to connect with other people. Let's see. I have a baby on the way. How do you find balance between work and family? There are absolutely no balances in life between work and family. If I gave you a sandwich and I gave you a salt shaker, would you want to make it 50% sandwich, 50% salt? No. You want work, life, and everything to line up by way of owning all of your choices. You want to own all your decisions such that they match all of your path, all of your mission. The way to make it work is that alignment. If your mission aligns with your day, your life, your family, where you're headed next, my job is to make people owners. What do you think that works like at home? My job is to build my kids up and to make them more owner-minded. My job with spending time with Jack, we work on ourselves. We're personal development junkies. That's what we're doing. It's definitely part of it. What if we're not sure what we're selling? Then keep trying. Just keep trying. Keep trying to see what people could want you to buy. There's a question here about Stephen Pressfield's mother of all fears, the fear to succeed. You know, it's true that sometimes we're afraid of succeeding, but you know what I always tell people is you should be so lucky to have that fear. You should get to that point where you have that fear. You should crash into a few more walls. Somebody asked me the question, can I get specific on my sales process? Well, I can, but it's my sales process. How's it going to work for you? I look at the people who have bought one of my courses and I think to myself, is this the kind of person who could use the owner's path? Are they using the owner's path yet? No. Hey, first name, I am looking for you. Sharon Marks, why aren't you part of the owner's path? And I will figure it out. I mean, maybe there's the answer. I can tell you that one of the things I can tell you, listen to this stat. This is one of these write them down or tweet them down moments. 80% of sales, anything, industry-wide, sales-wide, 80% of sales come in the follow-up, in the 5th through the 11th contact with somebody. Think about that for a minute. Hey, want to buy my thing? No. Want to buy my thing? I don't know. Want to buy my thing? No answer. Want to buy my thing? I'll get back to you. Want to buy my thing? Oh yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Want to buy my thing? Sure. I have absolutely living proof of that. Living proof. 5th through the 11th follow-up. 5 to 11 times you got to hit somebody and get some kind of a response or no kind of response before you get a yes. I just did it. Just last night. I needed to contact some people I'd forgotten to follow up with who had asked me about the challenge that I promote, and I had to follow up with them. I just went through a list of 35 names, sent them a really quick email. Hey, just following up, everything good? You still want to talk about this? Yes, 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 yes. No, no, get off my lawn. Whatever. If it's no, it's next. Whatever. They said no. They're off the follow-up list. Anybody who doesn't say no, follow up. By the way, you want some time back? Anybody who's dogging you for sales and you don't really want the product, say no. Get them off the lawn. It's much better. Let's see. Here's a question. I recently changed my lifestyle. Good for you. I'm a full-time RVer. Hey, good for you. Challenge is, how do I sell those that I see on a day or two? I'm a graphic designer selling branding and lead generation. You could sell that on the internet, good friend. It turns out they've created a device that doesn't need you to be anywhere in particular. You don't have to sell face-to-face. You could sell people on their project. The only problem is you're competing with a lot of people right now, so you've got to make it easy, and you've got to make it smarter, and you've got to make it faster, because that's what people want. Design book covers for people. Design podcast art for people. Give preset projects and packages, and you will help them out. I know 3 people who should see this video. Is it okay if I share the link to the recording of this? No, it's not okay. You paid $20. They didn't. If they want it, I'll teach you how to share it. I'll teach you how to ask people to get it. But no, you don't want to give them the link to this. You paid $20 and they didn't. Reading Secret Mom's Business. It focuses on 30% of people who are getting the work-life balance right. Why are you working to make a better life for me and my kids? Then you find balance. That's, definitely part of it. All right. 80% of what? 80% of sales is in the follow-up 5 through 11. If you're already down and needed the sale, how do you get past that looking desperate, especially if you're already bad at the selling? That's a really good question. One of the things that you want to do is you want to talk to people and ask them how you can be helpful to them. If you can think of ways to be helpful, then offer to be helpful. Another weird thing we do with selling is we're worried so much about selling our product or service that we're not worried about adding value to somebody else's life. Sales is adding value to someone's life. When you bought this webinar, did I twist your arm? Did I say, buy this or I'm never talking to you again? Did I say, this is something where you just owe me $20 because you've been getting my newsletter for so long, you cheap bastard, get off my lawn unless you give me $20? No. I said, hey, I want to turn your business around. I want to give you so much value for that $20 that it's 6 times or more the value. And you tell me if you think that's true. That's what I said. And you said, okay, and you pushed buy. And that's why you can't give this link out. Because someone didn't push buy. People don't value what they're given for free. You don't? How many free ebooks are sitting right now in a file on your computer somewhere? How many free downloads that you asked for did you not read? I'm going to guess most of you right now, just take a guess, hundreds, and some of you 1,000. And you're just saying, oh, you got me. All right. Here's quick diversion, 5 short ways to make money, and then I'll go back to some of your questions. There are gazillions of questions there. 5 quick short ways to make money. Affiliate marketing. If you're already making a podcast or a show or a blog or a newsletter and you like or there's a type of community that you already believe in and there's a product or service that you think they would love that you love, promote it. I promote stuff all the time. I'm into fitness right now. I promote Scorer running shoes. Jack and I both promote the Spartan race. We are Spartans. We love the Spartan race. Aroo. There are so many things that you can promote if you like them. Do you like me? I like me. You can promote my courses. For just promoting regular stuff, go take a look at shareasale.com. Share like you're sharing something, asale.com. I love that company. Brian Middleton, I think is the guy's name who runs it. Brian something. I'm blanking. Great company. A lot of the companies that I like to promote have projects on shareasale.com. There's all kinds of others. Please don't stuff the question box with that. I get it. Or you want to be an affiliate of my stuff? I give 50% commission. If you want to sell my courses, you get 50% of whatever they're worth. So you go to ownermag.com/affiliates. How do you sell something through the affiliate channel? Do what I do. Hey, I just got a coupon for Scorer running, 15% off. Want some? People go, oh, I wanted to try those shoes. They look cool. Mike Vardy wears them. Boop. Gone, done. I'll say to people all the time, go check out this book. The link could be an affiliate link. The Federal Trade Commission requires that on your blog you disclose that you're doing affiliate selling. Good, put it in your About page. Disclosure. Any link on my page could likely be an affiliate link. Merry Christmas. Have a ball. I promote with affiliate links for almost everything, not because you should be making money off of everybody, but if you're providing a service, if you're promoting something you really love, and if it doesn't hurt the other person or cost the other person for you to promote that link, why wouldn't you do that? My mortgage is paid right now 100% through affiliate marketing, 100%. I promote things like the Rainmaker platform, which is what chrisbrogan.com runs on right now. 3 or 4 sales of that later, and I've got myself my mortgage for the month. So why wouldn't you try to do that? Once you get your mortgage covered, then you get to the next level of, getting your bills covered. Once you get your bills covered, then you get to the next level. I mean, you start making pockets of money. Write some courses about what you do best. You can put it up on your site. I just started using Rainmaker. Like I said, you can go to cbrogan.me/Rainmaker to check out that platform. There's all kinds of cool membership site stuff built right into it. There's other sites. There's ifsimply.com. I use Infusionsoft to send email-based courses. A lot of my courses are sent via email. So that's chrisbrogan.com/Infusionsoft. You can do network marketing. One of the projects that I'm working on right now is officially network marketing. So I promote this health and fitness challenge. It's one of those deals that if you want to promote it, you can join with me and you can promote, and I'll work with you to help you be successful. chrisbrogan.com/the-challenge. That's way number 4 to make money. No, way number 3, I lied. Number 4, offer subcontracting services. One of my friends who's on this call, I believe, my good friend from the southern part of the U.S., joined up with us and partnered because he was doing services that we didn't want to do anymore. So someone would come to me and say, hey, Chris, I want to do that. And I'd go, great. And I'd send it to him. And he would make some money off of that. You can find other people to subcontract. Just look at the people who seem to be doing well. Say, hey, maybe you're getting more work than you can handle. Can I help you by subcontracting? And work out a deal with them. There's a lot of that. The other one, look at this hashtag #OwnPath and look around for anybody who maybe wants to do any kind of banding together, who wants to bundle services together, who can be helpful. There's definitely a lot going on in that service. I mean, nobody went to the tomato store to build their salad tonight. They went to the grocery store because that's where everything is gathered up. Marketplaces exist for a reason. If you're selling one thing and other people can sell all these other things, you're doomed. You've got to bundle. You've got to figure out ways that you can get your stuff connected to other people. Let's take a look. Can I sell a product that doesn't exist yet, like sell a concept and see if there's a market for the product? Well, sure. Jeff Walker talks all about that in the product launch formula, and you can definitely do stuff like that, or you can you could do, there's people that do keyword testing and stuff like that. It's not my model. I build the product and then I sell it, but that's because I tend to think and pay close attention to what the community I serve wants. When people say to me, hey, I wish you really had a social media marketing type of course, I said, sure. And I put one out. I didn't really want to write that course, but people kept asking. What advertising channel gives you the most leads? Beats me. I don't advertise. We have a saying, get the order, either a purchase order or a restraining order. I like that. Let's see. Good for you. No way. Sales equals helping people. We both agree on that. Bum, bum, bum. Lots of words. 4,600 ebooks, somebody told me. I always give away too much. I get shoplifted a lot. What's the ideal time for a consultant, writer, strategist to ask for the sale? Help. All right. Well, so first off, the minute somebody says, can I go to lunch with you and pick your brain, say no. Lunch is the most expensive meal of the day. The best I tell people is coffee, and almost ever, never. What I say is if you want to do consulting with me, I have a Clarity thing. So clarity.fm/Chris Brogan. There you go. It's easy peasy. You could totally get into that. One of the things that goes cool with Clarity is that you can set your time to the minute. So if you tell people whatever that minute price is, and as it rolls up into an hour, you can consult with people over the phone that way. It's simple, it's easy, the money's handled, it gets it out of the way. Once somebody asks you more than a couple of questions, it's probably time for Clarity. My other answer for that, by the way, is it depends if this person is in the Manchu or not. The Manchu are the people that I would help for free. Had a lady today ask me, can I have some services from me? She wants to learn how to be a better speaker because she's somebody who's really close to me. I'll probably help her for free. If you ask me the same thing, $500 an hour. I might be close to you. Who knows? All right. Skill jar for course videos. I don't know. If you want to pay somebody some money to do part of it, you could do that. That's what I do with Clarity. Why don't I advertise to make money? Because my community doesn't really pay much attention to advertising. The people that I have the pleasure and opportunity to serve like to connect with me directly. 70% of my sales come through my experience with my email newsletter. How do you approach sales meetings, discovery questions, or product pitches? Oh, I loathe product pitches. I loathe these kind of meetings where you're trying to do something on spec. I loathe these meetings where you have to try to compete against a bunch of people. I try to find ways to circumvent the competition. I've had a lot of that success. When I did a project with Sony, I said, look, here's the project, here's the price, here's what I'm going to do. No, I will not fill out your RFP. Do you like that project? And in this case, they said yes. If they said no, I would have been out the money. I don't do things I don't want to do. It's one of those things that deals with the integrity thing and the integratedness, and I just don't. Maybe there's a better way to do it, but I don't. Hey, listen, we're not that far down the road. I've got to go into some more of this stuff. So I said mindset was first. We went through mindset. Now we got to go through fuel. First off, the idea and the concept of fuel, fueltarian.com is a site that Jacqueline came up with. I really liked the concept. She coined the word a while back. There will be a sort of growingness to this site, but fueltarian.com you can even go take a look at. It's the idea of fueling your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, all the stuff you need. And I think that you need fuel to go on this journey. You need good books, you need good audio programs, you need positive events, you need positive efforts, and you need all kinds of regular food and spiritual food at that. To that effect, I want you to swing by ownermag.com/resources and take a look at what I put together for you there. That's got some links to a workbook that we're going to work on in just a second. Don't click that just yet, but you might open that in a new tab. It's also got a few books that I like. One of them's mine, by the way, because some people are asking me how to get to it. So it's got The Way of the Seal by Mark Divine. It's got Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. That is a fascinating book. It'll cure you of a lot of your feelings about sales. The Power of No by James and Claudia Altucher. What a great book. Absolutely worth it. And like I said, The Freaks. It's got 4 of my courses. For God's sake, don't click those until we talk. But those are some resources to look at. I think that, there's a lot of voices that are out there telling us what we can't do, telling us what we should do, telling us, that we can't do something, or worse, telling us that we're good enough or that didn't finish is okay. It's not okay. Fuel yourself with greatness. Just do it all the time. Listen to good stuff. All right, so now we're going to switch into, I just realized the limitation of what I have going on over here. So we're going to switch into the third piece, which is the path. And this is the power of mission-driven execution. This is the part, you asked me a lot of questions early on, and this is part of that, which is how do you put yourself on this path, and how do you integrate your life? How do you get everything in focus and all that? Part of this path is also figuring out how to best build the game that you most want to win. And the third part is how do you map your action to your days? Now let's go really quick into the resource that I built for you. That is, if you go to ownermag.com/resources and then you click on the thing that says please download and print, which is to the right, there's a little workbook. I'm just going to bring that up in front of me just so I can look at it with you. This is a workbook that I made that you can go through at your own leisure, but this is related to the Owner's Path course, but I made this mostly for you. So this first path deals with where we've been, and it also talks about confessing to what we haven't quite been doing so well today. It also talks about maybe making some pledges to what you're going to do now. Next in that whole process is coming up with what are some of the goals you got to do now to get off your plate? There's sometimes a situation where you've got to get some stuff off your plate. Just has to happen. You got some bill you didn't pay for yet. You've got some overwhelming thing that's really bothering you. If you name your demons, it's always better to get that handled. And then it talks about the goals to work on in a year. If you don't have where your issues are now and where you're going next, you run into some challenges. Right after that is your first draft of a mission. What is a good mission? A good mission is sort of like a mission statement. A mission is kind of what is the thing that you intend to do? With whom are you doing it? How are you going to get it done? My mission is really simple. We equip owners. We equip owners for success. So I do that, the equipping via making courses and services for owners, speaking for people, writing books. That's my model. That's my method. And I ask the question every single day, is that part of my mission? No, it's not. I won't do it. Mission-driven execution is what you're going for. So how do you get there? Well, like I say, your day is your year. That means, your day is your week, your month, your year. Once you figure out where you want to head in those 12 months, you've got to understand what does that look like on a day-to-day basis, and you've got to lay that out to what I've been calling the 4 circles. I split the first circle in half, by the way, because, there's sort of the spirit and mind part of that, and there's the belly and the body, the physical stuff that you got to get done. And the first circle builds around the commitment that you need to work on, your discipline, your observation and reflection, systems, mastery, integrity, or integratedness. Remember, we just talked about that up there in the mindset. That's part of the systems. That's part of first circle. So there's sort of a flow to it. Once you figure out your mission, then you start committing to it. Once you commit to it, you start using your powers of observation to figure out how this mission applies to the community that you have the pleasure to serve. Once you get that, you start putting systems in place. Once you figure that out, you start figuring out the game you're going to need to play to win. How do you score that game? Who are the players? What are the objectives and the rules? And then you figure out the map. The map is how do you map those actions? So that's first circle. First circle belongs to you and your higher power. That's what matters in the first circle. What's the second circle? That's your most prized loved ones. That is, the planet is going to blow up. You can only take a handful of people. This handful is very small. Who is that? That's your second circle. To those people, you ask the questions quite frequently, how do I support this person? How do I honor this person? How do I demonstrate love? Because love's a verb and it just has to happen that way. Third circle is the Manchu. Manchu is an Okinawan word. It means one family. It's the family we choose. These are your mentors. These are the people that you care about, that you would do stuff for no matter what. There's sometimes the customers in your community, but the ones that you love a little more than the other ones. You want to know that these are the people that you have an opportunity to serve. And who are they? How do you best serve them? What exactly is the business that you're in? And what are these... how do you help these people succeed? And I like to commit to 5 actions daily that show my intentions and support for them. So the flow inside a third circle, what do? You look to connect every 2 weeks. You find ways to help. You connect others within the third circle. Connecting other people is why there's a hashtag. That's why you look at Own Path. You can look at this for years to come and you'll see some people using it. Fourth circle. The fourth circle is your customers and your larger community. Always remember this. There's a bigger community that you have the opportunity to serve, and then there's the marketplace. That's what you're selling. You are not connecting those two things all the time. Sometimes the community that you have the pleasure to serve aren't your marketplace. Sometimes they're just people you care about. Then there's the marketplace. Those are the people who are buying the services or products that you're making, or the system within which people want those things. People who are into CrossFit know who Rogue Fitness is, and Rogue Fitness makes equipment that's really good for CrossFitters. Elite FTS has their products. There's all kinds of companies that serve very specific marketplaces, and that they got that way by working really closely with them. Who are those people? How do you best serve them? What exactly is your business? What are they paying for? And what can you do to add value for the money that you charge? If you don't have the answers to that, that's why you're having trouble with your business. That's the issue. What's the flow for fourth circle? It's connect, observe, identify the challenge, of course. Create, sell, iterate, and serve. Please don't ask me to repeat. You got the file. You can look at it, ownermag.com/resources. I then put a spot for your second draft of your mission, because I promise you this, your first time through, you didn't go through it all. You didn't look at it. You missed some stuff. There's some more opportunities to make it better. Mission drives your goals. So what I'm saying is, how this mission drives the goals. The first column is the small obstacles. The next one is what's going on in the next year. And then from there is the 5-year plan. What's your revenue goals? What's your goal per year? Somebody says to me, hey, I want to make $1 million a year. I go, great. That's $84,000 a month. That's, $21,000 a week. What are you going to do for that? And they go, because the number 21,000 is suddenly a lot of money. We don't suddenly lose 50 pounds on some date. We lose 50 pounds when we decide not to eat the Reese's Pieces. We lose 50 pounds when we decide not to go out to eat 3 nights in a row. That's when we lose the weight. It's every day. I always show people the math. How many of X do I have to sell to make this goal weekly? How much does this impact my time? How many hours does it take to create these services? I'm amazed by people who come up with these things where it takes them like 45 hours to make $100. And I'm just like, you're not going to make it. You're going to run out of time. So then right after that, I've got a whole bunch of space for you to write out, your first circle goals, your second circle goals, your fourth circle goals. Write these out daily. That's the deal. I'm going to go into Q&A, but I want you to look at the rest of this thing, because there's a whole bunch of systems information. There's some discipline information and some maintenance information. I want to talk to you also really quickly about the offer, because I'm probably going to forget to talk to you about it otherwise. I think I just shut the mail that was going to let me tell you about the offer. What a jerk. I did. All right. Here's the deal. So the one thing that this aligns with, if all this information worked out rather well for you, please don't just go rushing off the phone right now. If this worked out really well for you, a lot of this ties to my course, The Owner's Path. That is the course that I offer that would most help you, no matter what your challenges are, if this resonated with you, if the conversation here resonated with you. I've had some really great success with it. Some people have given me incredibly good positive feedback. It's wonderful. The course normally costs $997, but I've got a 50% off code for you. And so that 50% off code would make it $498.50. But that's still kind of a lot. You're at $20 was a lot of money for you to spend. So $498.50 doesn't sound very good to me. So normally we do something for 3 easy payments, and we split things across 3 easy payments. Well, Rob said, let's do it for 4 easy payments. So 4 easy payments breaks that down to $124.62, which isn't so bad. But I have a little better offer for you. Why don't you make the first 3 of those easy payments, and I'll make the 4th one for you. So if you use the code, if you go to ownermag.com/OP, and then when it shows there's a chance for a promo code, put in on the path, all lowercase, all close together, on the path. ownermag.com/OP for the owner's path. Put in on the path for the promo code. I'll break it down to 4 easy payments of $124.62, but I'm going to pay the last payment for you. Or I think Rob is, it won't be me. And when you do that, the final price of this course, that's $1,000, will be down to $373.88. You'll have paid $124 a month for it. That means you'll have spent a little more than $25 a week for it, which means you'll have spent dinner out for 2 at Chipotle to deal with this. And so if that's worth it, then it's worth it. That's the deal I'm going to make. So I just saved you $124 over the 50% off for On the Path. And hopefully this alone was the value. Now I'm going to rocket through the questions and question and answer. If you don't get your question answered, please drive me an email, chris@ownermag.com. Do not panic. I will get you there. What's the best way to get early adopters for my online product? Give it away for free. Sometimes free is good. Freemium is good. Find influencers in that space who write about SaaS. Those are definitely those ways to do it. Can I repeat the link for clarity? A lot of people said it. Mine is clarity.fm/Chris Brogan. What's the best way to take the attention off of shiny objects with possible clients when they need to focus on other priorities? Find them revenue. If you say to them, hey, I would like to add more revenue to your business, that shuts up shiny objects. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Mark. What was the fifth way? Affiliate teaching. The 5 easy ways of selling. Hang on one quick second. So I'll go through them all quickly. Affiliate marketing, courses about what you do best, network marketing, offer subcontracting services, and brand together and bundle. Ongoing sessions like this, I doubt it. What's your thoughts on pay what you want pricing? It's the great way to find the bottom of the barrel really fast. I find the challenge is really helping my focus. Eating better is making me think better. I am much more driven in every area. See how magic that is? Seth Godin definitely is a freak. He wrote the thing, We Are All Weird. It's a great one. 10 months ago, I decided to venture out on my own again. I'm a serial entrepreneur, but I took the opportunity to work with someone else 3 years ago that I couldn't resist. It was really great. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the rub. The past 10 months have been so difficult. I've been in a cloudy space of not knowing what exactly to do next. It's depressing. Blah, blah, blah. What's the number one thing you could tell to get me out of the fog and get back to the awesome? Commit, do the work, Spartan up. The whole mindset is just dig out, because if you're there, if you've started the race, you've got to finish the race, or quit and just start the next thing. There's no reason to be chained to misery, but there's 2 ways to get in. Can I talk a little bit about the discipline of training for the Spartan race and how it impacts the discipline in business and life in general? Absolutely. This is no excuses stuff. Once you realize what you're doing to do something like that, one of the things I learned was that I had done a lot of training for my legs. I had all kinds of leg work, quads were really strong and all that. My upper body I thought was strong, but once you're hanging off a bunch of things over and over, holy cannoli, was I not strong enough in my upper body to do half of what I needed to do. What did I learn though? I learned about focus. I learned you work on one obstacle at a time. I learned teamwork. When Jack was going up to the wall, she's 5'1.5" or something. That wall was way too high. I picked her and chucked her up onto the edge of the wall, and she threw herself up and over it. And then she came around and helped me up over the wall, because there was no way I was getting over it without any help. And teamwork was a big thing. There was a lot more to it. I can tell you that if you bought the book Spartan Up by Joe DeSena, you would have a much better life. Can I repeat where to download the workbook? ownermag.com/resources. And you click to the button and you'll be right there. What are we looking at here? You are in the wrong spot. Really good stuff. Thank you. Can I help with pinning down what my product is? No, but you've really got to figure out who your service is. I mean, who's the person? Who are you serving? What do they need? That's your product. What do they need that you know how to do? What do you need that they know how to do that you can make money? That's what your product is. It could be anything. People need to learn how to whistle. Teach them how to whistle. People need to know how to fill out forms that you know how to fill out better than them. Teach them how to fill out those forms if that's what you want to do. That's what product and service business is. I can do this. You can't do it or don't want to do it. Perfect. There's a wonderful lady in my town named Monique. She does laundry. I love it when she does laundry for me. I pay $1 a pound as opposed to doing the laundry in my basement at $2 a washing machine. It's time well spent. All right, let's take a look at a couple more questions. Holy cannoli, we are full. You are always resonating, but it's hard to commit the time. It's not hard to commit the time. It's hard for you to commit the time. You are having a hard time because you are not committed. If you are committed, if you are sold that the time is what you're supposed to spend it on, then you will find ways. Take your Game of Thrones watching ass and find the time. Take the time out of other parts of your life. Whatever you are doing is what you do not commit. How many hours each week is the owner's path? You could do it in a week, or you could do it in an hour or two a week. It's what you get out or what you put in. That's 20 minutes a day. Michael, you are awesome. Jay Bear said that needing a recipe is something he's never been interested in, needing a recipe, and that's why he's never wanted to create a product. What are your thoughts on needing a recipe? Recipes are awesome. Lots of things in life are great with a recipe. Why wouldn't I want to follow a recipe? Hey, how do you make this shake turn to taste like a Butterfinger shake? I think it's great. Should I feel badly about wanting to work with SMBs? I know they don't have a lot of money, but that's where my passion is. No, work with SMBs. I work with owners. You know what's the worst group in the world to work with? Owners. You're all broke. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people signed up to this webinar because you're broke. I'm trying to sell you a $500 product and you're thinking, $20, I don't know. But I'm doing it. Why? Because I can help you. And that's who you serve. You serve the people you can help, and you find out the prices. How do you prepare clients that are used to hands-on interaction with you when you go to a 40% system and automate processes? You figure out what they're used to, and you figure out who you have to keep going in that process. And the next person you sign, you don't show them that process. They're used to whatever you teach them to be used to. You teach them. How long does this code last? As long as you need it to. That's my answer, my friend. Please repeat the discount code again. No. What was Jacqueline's site or product? Go to fueltarian.com, and it's just, it's connected to Fitarella right now. It's a great thing. I'm new at blogging, and my clients are busy because business owners. How often should I be talking to them? I don't know. How often do you want money? How often do you want them to come and pay attention to you? How often can you serve them with something new? If you're just filling content, then don't do that. That's like farting into a blanket. You're Dutch ovening your client. Give them something useful. I want to say your Sunday morning emails are awesome. You are awesome. Spartan up. Heads up, Chris, the love letters link doesn't work. ownermag.com/love-letters not found. It's just ownermag.com/love letters. I'll fix it later. I'm sorry. How do I create a customer profile to target them more effectively? Who to engage with? Well, who's the real human? Like, who really is the person who would buy your product? Just sell to them. Sell to one human and just sell to that one human really closely well. Is the Owner's Path course purely self-driven? Yes, it's self-driven, but you can always drop me a line. Every course I do, hit reply. I'm on the other end of it. But if you're asking for coaching, that costs you more money. If you're just saying, hey, I don't really get the question, you're all good. Cold calling, yes or no? Sure, but you can warm call. It'll be a lot better. Oops, I just deleted something. Can I sign up for the something? I don't even know what it was. How long is the 3-payment offer available for? I don't know. I would say start saving your pennies. How do I break the cycle of relying on too few intensive clients? You've got to pick 15%. If you've got clients, make none of them worth more than 15%. That way, if you lose one, you still have 85%. We're coming down to the wire, kids. Do you focus or finish one book or read several? I don't know. Here's what people do with books. People are like silly with books. Here's a bunch of books on my desk. Oh, okay. I just read The Power of No. That was good. Okay. Yep. Just read The Way of the Seal. That was good. Whew. Just got through Creativity for Sale. That was good too. I like that book, man. 8 Weeks to Seal Fit. That was good. They don't do anything with it. They don't actually apply anything. If you're just reading books, go masturbate. It's just as good. You have to do something with the book. You have to use the book. You have to apply the book to some part of your business. If you're not doing that, you're not doing anything. All right, just join the Owner's Path. I love you, Dana. I love you more than everybody else here. All right, let's see. Button. Nothing small about small business. Thank you for the $20 investment. You were totally welcome. I'm glad you love my emails. By the way, when people don't want to buy things, when people just like to come for the free emails and all that, that's like going to the art gallery because you like Ritz crackers. It's fine. You could be there. I don't care. Eat all my Ritz crackers. I'm doing business with the business people. When you go to trade shows, have you ever gone to a trade show? Do you know why there's drawing things to win a free iPad? Do you know why there's squeezy balls? Because anybody who's there who's a real player will not put their business card in that bowl to win an iPad. They will not pick up a squeezy ball. Even if they say it's for my kid, it's baloney. The people there to do business are looking for the person who isn't pretty and who sells. That's what they're there for. That's why it's gone. Let's see. I misunderstood. I am not watching Game of Thrones or any TV. I get up at 5:40 a.m., do my stuff, blah, blah, blah. I commit time to learning rather than doing. Can your classes someone who's very focused and self-motivated? Absolutely. Joey, I've punched you in the face twice. You were so loved. Ownermag.com/love-letters is where you want to go. And hey, Sharon, thank you for joining. Thanks for the offer. You're going to commit. I love you more for saying that. I just deleted somebody else. I'm so sorry. Join the Owner's Path on Sunday because I love you. That's why. Ask Rob at ownermag.com for a better discount so we can help you. What's the best way to build trust with your potential customer so that you buy from you eventually? I wrote a book about it called Trust Agents, but you build trust by helping other people. Thank you, Nick, for getting on the cause. You make me so happy. I'm starting a new magazine and creating a grassroots marketing plan, and friend stated, no, this is the wrong path. Well, I guess it depends. If you're starting a magazine, but you don't have sales put in the magazine, if you don't have anything to sell, then you're throwing that bucket of worms into the water. And I am the best. I'm going to give you 2.5 more minutes, and then I'm going to leave here. So ask the last handful of questions, and we're gone. If you didn't get your questions answered, go to chris@ownermag.com. Just send me email. I actually answer my own email. This is always amazing. It's whatever. Just added you as an author on my Audible wish list. Freaks isn't there yet because I'm so damn slow. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Sue. I love you. Go to ownermag.com/OP and put in On the Path. How do you know when you've crossed the line from helping people and giving away too much free info? Are you eating? Yes or no? Are you finding people to actually buy stuff? Yes or no? You have to really look at what's free info. People hoard their ideas as if they're never going to have ideas. People hoard their money as if they're never going to have money. What you don't have more of is time. And you need to really marshal your time. You've got to do much better with that. Michael, if someone wants to take this 10-pound challenge, where do they go? They go to chrisbrogan.com/the-challenge. Unless, Michael, you want to be smart and get yours for free, and then you give them that link to your myvi.net. So it's whatever you signed up for, username.myvi.net, and get them to sign up there. That's some love. All right, you're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm excited too. Where should we look for the hashtag OwnPath? I would look on Twitter if I were you. I just deleted someone else's email, so if I just missed your question, I'm so sorry. You are so very loved. I am so grateful that you were here. It really matters a lot to me that you took the time and that you believed in yourself. That's what matters. I'm not here for your $20. Believe me, there's lots more money I can make in other ways. I'm here because you committed, and you committed to this, and you showed that you were going to give no excuses to be here, or at least get the audio later. Thank you so much for everything you do. I'm Chris Brogan. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'm so grateful for your time. No, get off my lawn. And now I have to find that button. Where is it?